Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 147, being recorded on the 19th of July, 2018. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk all things Nintendo, we have Harrison Milfeld.
Greetings as always.
And of course, we have a Colin Crompton.
Hey, not the Colin Crompton, but a Colin Crompton. There's some better ones out there in the world. But hello, everybody.
Are they rare? Are they rare, or are they
famous ones? As you've told us before,
there is one very famous one, exactly, who I was named after. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Today's show, we've got a little bit of what we've been playing, like a little bit of Nintendo news. Actually, we got a fairly medium-sized Nintendo news. I think we got some decent stuff in there, but we're also still not far enough away from E3 that we've got real.
Like meaty news. We haven't got meaty news.
Yeah, that's the word I was avoiding because we're not quite in the meaty news season yet. But
there's a season for meaty news.
There is, which is outside of the big E3 window. Yeah. And of course, we do have a super topic to end the show on. And should we jump straight into what we've been playing?
Sure.
Seems logical.
It seems logical. It seems the order of things as we've just discussed. As I've just said, I guess. I'm looking at the notes though. Has anyone else been playing anything?
I did finish. Well, not finish. I've gotten near to the end, whatever. But I was on a time crunch to review this right now. But I did get through a good majority of Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido, and I gave it I reviewed it for Pure Nintendo. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I will say it's one of those diamond, as one people have told me, is like it's kind of like one of those diamond in the rough type of like eShop titles out there that I don't really think anybody should sleep on, and especially if you're really into really great puzzlers with a nice little bit of wackiness and charm to it. I mean, with the whole anime cutscenes and the setting to here, I mean, it does feel like it's one of those weird Saturday morning cartoons that you vaguely remember as a kid, but somewhat started enjoying, and you're like one of the only few who knew about it when you bring it up. But that's where I get to it. But other than that, my things that I got with Sushi Striker on the Switch, because I was interested when it was coming on the 3DS. I'm like, yeah, this is the way this is. It's tailor made to it. And then when it came to the Switch, I was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to control using sticks, because I know you could use the touchscreen on there in handheld mode, but I always felt using a second screen while having everything up my view up there while using the touchscreen would just be a bit more comfortable. But I actually had a lot of I was actually doing really fine with just using analog sticks to actually select plates and sushi to match up and to eat the sushi and throw it at the plates at your opponent. So I know this is a very strange concept to me, whatever. But
yeah.
So it's up anybody's alley. If you really need a great little puzzler game that's going to give you a lot of good hours of fun, I recommend pick up Sushi Striker. And if you want to pick up a 3DS, that's fine too. Whatever, I've heard people that's their preferred version. From some people have told me like they like it better in the 3DS just because of the way it controls. But I don't know. It works splendidly well on the Switch though.
Awesome. I've heard similar things. Something I'm curious about, because I have enjoyed what I have played, but I am a person, at least of recently, who does get distracted by the newer, shinier game, as you can probably tell.
We all get
Nintendo news each week.
Yeah. No. You're right, Lewis. It's like we get distracted so much. To me, it's like I just continually see my pile of games just continuing to get up to. I'm like, I'm never finishing this backlog, am I? And it's like you said, it's like the weeks that I've not been playing games. It's just you're dealing with like regular work stuff, and it's like, I really need to get back on this because I'm just now more reading about games as opposed to playing them.
I've been there.
We've all been there. So I'm curious about is like the length for the game. I know the production values are very high, but what's the actual roughly the sort of length are we talking here? Is it a long game? Is it short?
I got about maybe 10 hours out of it.
Okay,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, but that's with if you're going through all the conversations and such, whatever. But like I said, there's the usual tropey characters you're going to get, but still, it's not irritatingly bad to a point where you just want to skip scenes. You're just like, oh yeah, I really like this.
It's basically serviceable for what it is in the game. It's not gonna like blow your mind away.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. How about yourself, Colin? You been up to much?
Last week I was like, yeah, I'll play Warframe. I'll report back on Warframe.
And I immediately questioned, is that out yet?
No.
Oh.
I was completely wrong with that. I was like, oh yeah, it'll be out. It's not. It currently has a release date of TBD, which is helpful. But
That's
when
ages
it
away, that is.
But when it does come out, I'll let you guys know how good it is.
Awesome.
You know what I would actually think that would be a very good game to release out on the first day of the Switch is online.
Oh, you're not? Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That'd be a good setup. Apart from that, I'm playing too much really. Mainly more Fortnite, really.
And how is more Fortnite going?
Smooth.
How is season 5?
Yeah, I forgot that did drop, and now that I have more time on my hand, I actually might want to give Fortnite a try.
I mean, it's worth a try. I didn't think it would grab me at first, but it sunk its claws pretty deep. Yeah, Season 5 is fun. You can now drive. They put vehicles in the game you can drive.
Have you driven?
I have driven.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
It's kind of like dangerous.
Does it work?
It works fine. It's a great way to get across, because the map is not huge, but it's large enough that driving is.
Does it feel a little bit like a warthog in Halo?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
I have heard using the golf carts in there are fun once you get like a group of buddies in there.
Well, the best thing about the golf carts is they have the Mario Kart style controls, where if you drift, you keep drifting for so long, you get the boost.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
There's 3 flavors of boost. The longer you drift, the more boost you get. Pretty cool.
That's how you sell Fortnite to die-hard Nintendo fans.
No, it isn't. You've got Mario Kart golf carts in it. Amazing. But yeah, for a game that's about survivability, basically, is what it is. But you've got to live as long as you can. Driving around in a golf cart is a great way of getting yourself killed because they are really noisy, and you basically can't miss a golf cart that's fairly large. Just driving around. So
I'm guessing it's fairly easy then to actually hit people within them. It doesn't really provide much defense then.
I mean, they go at a fair lick, but I mean they can't shoot back or anything.
Exactly, but if you spot one and you get it in your sights, there's a good chance you're going to take.
If it's driving by you, you can take out the person quite easily. Yeah.
Okay.
But if these are mainly for like multiplayer sessions, because you can fit 3 other people as well as you. So if you get like a full squad on one of these go-karts, you can just drive around killing people everywhere. It's great. But yeah, so far Fortnite's fun. Still fun. I don't know if it's just the Switch version, because that's maybe what I've been playing it on, but sometimes the game will lose the connection, that the Switch loses connection to the internet or whatever, or there'll be just bits where the game will freeze. More like just like a split second, and it'll carry on. But in a game that's like shooting, a split second can get you killed. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun what it is. I'm still kind of enjoying it. It's bizarre that it's free. I'm glad it's free because I wouldn't have paid for it basically. But
have you? I think it's come up. You had bought a Battle Pass for the Switch.
I did buy a
after
Battle
already
Pass.
having one.
Yeah.
So
I did buy. I mean, but it's very cheap, the Battle Pass. I mean, and it gives you
multiple Battle Passes start adding up.
No, well, this is the great thing about the Battle Pass. It pays for itself.
Ooh.
You win free money by buying the Battle Pass.
For sake of transparency, do you work for the Fortnite Corporation?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Basically, the Battle Pass has its own reward system, and in that reward system is their currency called V-Bucks, and you basically just save up your V-Bucks over the course of the season. When the next season comes out, you can just buy the Battle Pass for free.
Is that what you did?
Pretty much.
Pretty much?
Pretty much.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'll accept that.
But yeah.
That's cool. Anything else Season 5 related that you've spotted? Any of those weird, dimensional portal things?
The dimensional portal things are fun, but primarily pointless. Basically, they're just these random pockets of. They do it. You just walk through this weird portal, and it drops you in from the sky. So basically, you can just fly to a new location.
Oh, okay. So that's the benefit. So you get another go at.
Basically, if you need to get somewhere quickly, that's the way to do it. Downside is they make a lot of noise. like this loud like boom noise, and you can see it forming in the sky and you dropping out of it. So if someone's like properly placed, they can just shoot you as you're coming out of one. I've seen that a few times. That's funny. Besides that, they haven't really added anything else. Basically, each season they sort of like, or throughout the season, they'll make subtle changes to the map. So now there's a new desert area. There's a golf course you can drive around on. That's fun.
Can you actually? I heard that you can play golf in this. Is that true?
Not that I've seen. You can play basketball now.
You can play basketball.
I hear that. Yeah.
You can play basketball. That's a new thing. Completely pointless, but it's a nice little.
Is this within matches, or is it the same thing?
It's within matches. There's actually a challenge going on right now where you have to score 5 baskets in a single game or something like that. Which is, it's like, oh, that sounds like fun. Like, yeah, but you got people trying to kill you, so you go like run, find a basketball court, and like start shooting basketballs at it.
It sounds a bit like Splatoon 2's Clan Blitz. To be fair.
I don't know.
Just by that description alone, it's like, that sounds awfully familiar. What's OS?
But yeah.
That's cool. Okay. So still having fun with Fortnite. So it would be interesting to see like how, because I'm fairly new to Fortnite, to be honest, but how Season 5 continues to like change things or introduce like new things, as it were.
I do hope they do. I mean, they're introducing new weapons. That's coming next few weeks. They're going to bring out new weapons and stuff. But I'm intrigued at how long it's going to hold my interest. If it'll keep me for the whole season, like Season 4 did. Yeah. I mean, more or less it did. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But right now, it's good. Fun times. Fun times to be had.
Fun times to be had, indeed. The only thing I've really noticed about Fortnite Season 5 is how the icon is different now. Because I've not actually launched it since, I don't think. Actually, tell a lie. I think I have, but it might have been on the PC, oddly.
Sure.
I don't think I've launched the Switch one since.
Can we all, and this is, I've heard this from folks, whatever, appreciate the fact that, given our thoughts on like, crossplay, whether like Sony's wanting to join in on this or not, and the fact, it's so incredibly seamless that I wish this could be more implemented in like Nintendo's online infrastructure, as well as that you could be playing Fortnite and your own leveling up your character on your phone or your mobile device, and then you just come home and you're like, oh, I can just load them up on my Switch right now. To me, I'd love that. I really love that.
I do. I think it's amazing. Yeah, because I did download the PC version very temporarily, just to see what it felt like. I was like, oh, I can just take, and it's like log in using a Switch account. And you just literally log in using your Nintendo ID, and there's your character on your PC, and it was so seamless. I was like, wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I do like that back and forth nature of it, like, because I feel a lot of people paint the scenario is like in terms of switching platforms. Like, oh, I was playing on Xbox, but now I can play on Switch, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that you can just play, what is convenient at the time.
Yeah,
so if
everything gets carried over. Yep. It's really good.
So if you're at your PC or if you've got a laptop or whatever, and it's convenient to do so, or your Switch or your other consoles, as it were, as long as it's not a PS4.
Yeah,
that won't get old anytime too soon, I feel. Then that works.
It's so ridiculous. That's why it won't get old, because it's so.
It's nice. I feel Sony's kind of been like king of the hill for so long. Yes, it's nice to take a.
Yeah. Oh. What can you do?
What can you do? Well, you could support crossplay. That's what
you could make sure that people who are exclusive to that platform, whatever, it's like, hey, I'd like to just play with my friends and be able to actually move my character from here and not be tethered to it. And to people say, it's like, hey, yeah, if Nintendo was doing this type of thing, I mean, if I had to go back in my past podcasts, I'd probably be contradicting myself or whatever. It just, if Nintendo was doing this same thing, yeah, we'd probably both be holding our feet to the fire if the same thing. Like, you got to allow this. But I did listen to this with NBC just recently about how, especially these versions right here, it's whatever, it's not coming after a patch or anything like that to kind of get it in. It's like these games where these ports are coming out a few months after or two on Switch, you're able to join in the fun with everybody else. I mean, it's kind of when you look back at like other editions of like, say, Call of Duty that were on Wii U or even before that, and they just never got updated. They never really did, and that's why the communities there did not really thrive, like didn't even try to thrive it anyway. And to me, it just, when you have Fortnite here. Hey, here's 18 million more people ready to play play Fortnite with you all. So I'm just glad that that's being, and it makes me hopeful going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the same with like Rocket League as well. Rocket League is doing the same thing. I'm really happy about that. Yeah, it's just like, hey, you want to play with your friends on different platforms? Go ahead. There's no barriers. Unless you're PS4. There you go.
There we go. We've tested the limits already.
Yeah.
In this one segment of the podcast. It is now old. We did it, guys.
Yay. But that's been done. That's basically it for me for Fortnite. That's it.
Okay. For myself, I'll start off with a couple of updates.
Okay.
Which is, to be fair, is going to be the bulk of it. I've got something new I've been playing, but I've not played it much yet. But quickly first, I have been playing some more Wolfenstein 2 for one.
Holding up?
It is. It's definitely holding up.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and like the other cool thing about it is, despite it is very good to progress it, I've now kind of shown the intro to a few different people to kind of gauge their reactions.
Okay.
Knowing they would like it, obviously. Do you
like it? Like to like it, or just show them like, wow, the Switch can play this?
It's probably more of a point of the Switch in the sense that I'm not doing it for the Switch's sake, as in like just to show off how like cool this game is,
right.
And it just happens to be on the Switch. It's not even like the Switch is the point of it, which is maybe the point in itself.
Yeah,
the way what Panic Button's able to do right now with these ports is still amazing.
But that's like it's like kind of to the point. It's congratulating them the fact that we're talking about the quality of the game first, opposed to the efforts of the port. The fact that it's a bit ironic, but like the proof of the pudding in a good port team is the game itself will shine, and the port developer will kind of become invisible in the process because you're just playing the game as what you expect it to be.
Right.
And yeah, like that. The first like half an hour or so of Wolfenstein 2, which was basically my experience when I was talking about the game last time, is ridiculous. If you like Quentin Tarantino films, you need to pick this game up in some way because it goes toe to toe, I would say, with some of his best, and that is, at least on my side, a ridiculous statement to make.
That's quite the stamp of approval, like stamp of approval or recommendation there.
Yeah, if that matches your sensibilities, then yes, that should be a siren call to you right now. But I've been continuing to play, and it's really great how it does balance just like it does the Doom thing where it's doing new things with first-person shooters, but it's reminding you of how the game used to be, and it's using elements from the previous games in new ways. But it never feels like it's something completely different. Yeah, it basically is. And there are some very cool set pieces in this, and it's just it flows really smoothly. Not just from like gameplay to story, but from quite different types of gameplay. Like Doom, it gets a little bit like Metro Prime in some bits, in the sense that you're doing platforming. Like through these kind of large levels, it does ask you to think, in between all the shooty shoot.
the shooty shoot. I'm gonna use that
exactly. But it is nice. You get a bit of variety. It's not just like kill rooms, like what you might expect when you just see like Wolfenstein, as it were.
Right.
But yeah, like there's tons of secrets like in the original games, and it is just full of character. Like it does have these like really like just out there like dark scenes, but it also has like comedy and like lighter moments, and so it does strive this real surprising balance, at least for me. And yeah, I've had a really great time with this game so far. But yeah, I think I'm about halfway through now, so I'm very much looking forward to like how this game wraps up. Because I've got a suspicion they're going to go all out.
I thought you were going to say they're going to leave it on a cliffhanger or something.
Well, they probably will, because there is another one. Like, this is the middle of the new trilogy, as it were.
Right.
That's my understanding, at least. So I imagine it will end in a cliffhanger, much like the first game did with how this game opened up.
Right.
That first game must have ended in such a cliffhanger with how this game starts.
I need to pick this up and just see the intro. I think Lewis has sold me on the intro.
Oh, I hope so. It's you have no regrets even with that pitch. Yeah, check it out. The other thing I've got an update on is Ittle Dew 2 Plus.
Ah, of course.
So unlike certain indie games, and no disrespect to those in particular, which I kind of play for the first hour and then just move on almost forever, and I might come back for a bit later, but there's a good chance that I haven't yet. I have been playing a bit more Ittle Dew 2. I've done 2 extra dungeons now, so I've done 3 of the 8, which isn't too bad for me in terms of playing it as a side game now. But yeah, it's yeah, I guess so. Yeah, almost. Although I filled that first dungeon, I'm not sure how much that counts. That was pretty tiny.
It's like 2 rooms or something.
There was a few rooms, but I feel the whole thing might have been done in like 10 minutes.
Right. Okay.
As in, like, you moved through it quickly, like it was real basic stuff in each. Shows you a single thing. But I spent a lot of time in the overworld, which is cool.
Nice.
So, like, it's not just a matter of like, oh, I've ticked off, this amount of dungeons out of this. There are lots of puzzles in the overworld, and it's a game which is, again, it's full of charm. I do like how it does capture that kind of 2D art style whilst being a polygonal game. Do check out like some screenshots of it, and it runs very smoothly throughout, which is nice. I feel if it didn't, it would definitely change the feel of the game. But it's silky smooth, and it's got a real cool art style, and solid gameplay. And it definitely scratches that like Link to the Past itch. So, the third game, the new game I've been playing a little bit of so far, is Octopath Traveller.
Ah, do tell.
There it
is. Exactly. I've been waiting for this one for quite some time, and I really put this one in context. I've probably put about half an hour into this so far, so very short amount of time. Maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more. It's tricky. The reason why it's tricky is because, as you may expect from a game which is, calling back to, old school JRPGs, it's not the fastest of beginnings. Not in a bad way. It's what you want. It's what you expect. But in terms of if you've only had a limited amount of time and then you go on a podcast to talk about the impressions of said game, I don't necessarily have much of game to talk about yet.
Right.
So I've started up 2 character stories even in this short amount of time, which probably didn't help.
Right. So I was gonna say, how does it go from like start game to you pick a character right away, or does it go start game? There's a little bit of story, then you pick a character.
If there was a little bit of story, it was very little.
Okay.
It might have even been a cold start, choose your character.
Right.
There might have been a very quick, like, oh, this is the world or something. But you're essentially, you start with like this world map with all the 8 travelers on.
Okay.
And you can choose who you want to play as, and it will show you the profile art. It will give you a description of who they are, and what their goals are so far. And it's quite a nice start, like, because you can peruse through the characters. You might just go, oh, I like the look of that character. I'm going to just jump in and play them. Or read their backstories, work out who you want to play, and then when you do, it does obviously jump into like their game, their story. And so you are going to have a lot of text, but like the demo, which I kind of almost forgot, it's at least the intros. I can't remember if I'm not sure it's the whole game, but from what I've played so far, everything is spoken. Everything has every piece of written text, and there's a lot of it. Is also got some real nice, which probably slowed down the pace of the game for me. Again, not in a negative way, but I would probably be zipping through the text faster if it didn't have voice work, which I liked.
Right. Okay, that's a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm letting it go through, but otherwise I would be like quite snappy, just skimmery. So from what I've played so far, what I can say is it lives up to the style, that vibe of what it's showing, at least from the get-go. Right. It has like this kind of masterful control over just setting that tone. I think tone is the right word for this game because, and it does change the character again. I kind of checked one character's story and I decided I'm going to jump out, just see if I can for one. Oh yes, I can jump to a new character, start their self, and see how different or not it is.
So,
and it was.
2 characters did you start with?
Okay, well the first one, actually no, it wasn't the first one. I think the first one I had a friend choose, and they chose the cleric.
Okay.
Which I can't remember her name. And the next character, which is when I was playing solo later, I chose Primrose, who was in the demo, because I really liked that part of the demo. However, because the demo was basically the start of her story, it is basically that.
Right.
So I got to get through the bit I've done first before new stuff happens.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm, there's more reasons to kind of take a little bit more time, pick up items, talk to people, because I'm invested in like this save file now.
Right.
Where before I was just wanted to see what the game had to offer.
Now you can switch between these characters on the fly, obviously, to their story. So, like, if you're in one story, actually, you can switch to another, or do you have to once you're with one character, you have to finish their story first?
That's a good question. Like, because I did start this as a second character, I can't remember 100% because I wasn't like that committed to how much I had started already. If I just started again, or if I was able just to switch, I'm not sure. I have to come back to you on that one. I imagine. Oh, now I don't want to guess. I'm not sure if you can like switch at any point. Obviously, there's going to be parts where you do play as different characters, but yeah, I'm not sure you can do it at any time. But yeah, like, that art style really does pop though.
I do feel like you can or something like that, but again, I'm just gonna be like, yeah.
I'm gonna fire up and look at the menu.
Go.
So, is there any more Octopath Traveller questions?
Well, it's a bit difficult, put 30 minutes into it.
That's true. It's very true. But I'm just trying to buy a little bit of time to answer Harrison's question.
Very quickly. Did you buy it digitally or physical?
Well, that's an easy one, really, isn't it? It was digital, of course.
Of course.
I've only got 2 physical games. One is Zelda, one is Labo.
One is Labo.
Yeah. And oddly, having that's apparently one game too many because I've got Labo in my Switch currently, and I wanted to play Zelda the other day. And I was like, oh no, Zelda's in the Labo box.
Oh no.
I'll have to play something else. I had that nightmare.
Too much effort to go and get the Zelda game.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it was somewhat of a proper excuse because my Labo box is still at my parents' house.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
I just realised at the time, I was like, oh, it's not actually in my Switch, it's in there. From what I can see, I don't think you can change characters at any time.
Okay.
You might be able to jump back, you might be able to do it through the main menu, but you can't just pause and change in that sense. I think I just overwrote my save file, which is fine. Because like I basically just got through the intro part where I could start running around, and that was like the end of that session. But it's promising. It's cool. But obviously, once I put more time in, I will give you more impressions.
Looking forward to it. I'm very much intrigued by this game because I love Bravely Default. I never did play a second one. Bravely Second.
I've not played either, which is shocking.
Yeah, it's quite. I never finished the first one technically. I got as far as the bit where it's like, oh, go back to the beginning.
Oh no, you got like halfway through,
and I'm like I'm wrong. I'll play something else. I think Monster came out around that time as well. So I was like,
that game has a crazy ending. It somehow justifies that weird frustration by making it a story point, like the whole frustration part and like the gameplay. Oh man, it's good.
I can't.
It uses the 3DS camera, Colin.
That's not a selling point to me.
It is.
That's a gimmick.
It breaks the fourth wall. It does a thing.
Does a thing.
I don't want my game to break the fourth wall.
Oh well. But no, I still think it's like particularly cool, and I'm not sure why for this particular game. Just the fact that it is a Switch exclusive.
Okay.
Like, it's just real like from what I'm expecting, let's use the word beefy RPG. And it's only available on the Switch. I don't know. I think it helps with that like nostalgic Super Nintendo-esque RPG feel of it. Is like it's at home on a Nintendo system.
So you're saying this is the next, like it's the new Final Fantasy VI?
Well, it's kind of the new Final Fantasy, really.
Final Fantasy 3.
Like kind of what Bravely was doing. Like this is just a new take on, opposed to just like redoing like Final Fantasy, like just like doing a new 6. It's just doing a game like that, but being free to do new conventions, to use the new technology, but not fundamentally make it a different game, but not confining yourself to the things which were done up to that point. Yeah, it's really cool.
But I know, I agree. I would like to see Final Fantasy VI actually, if they were to do redone in this style.
That'd be cool.
To be fair, any of the 2D Final Fantasies, do them all. But in reverse order, to make sure we get 6 in there. Do them in reverse order.
Yeah. 6 is the best 2D Final.
And there's big enough 1 and 2 versions. Not enough 5 or 6. So that's going to do it for what we've been playing. So let's jump into Nintendo news. And we're going to start things off with a new game announcement, at least for the Switch. And so we already have a South Park game on the Switch, South Park The Fractured Butthole. But the original game, The Stick of Truth, has now been announced for the Switch. It's coming out this fall. As far as we are aware, so far it's going to be digital only, which is actually the same as for the Stick of Truth for the other current gen consoles.
Right.
And so that probably will be how it stays.
Are you sure about that
I mean,
let me see.
that's from what I've heard so far. From what my sources tell me.
Stick of Truth on PS4, I think they do have yep, there's a physical copy. You can get it.
On the PS4? Oh, okay, fair enough. I thought it was a digital thing, which came around Fractured Butthole. I was obviously wrong. Oh well. But from what we know so far, it's digital only for the Switch. And what else was I going to say? This also came out during a Ubisoft's financial briefing. So I'm not sure it's too much to say. Like that must mean that like they're at least pleased with the results from Fractured Butthole on the Switch, or it was something which was just already in the works, and this was just the timing of things.
I feel like it has been. Yeah, because it's just, I don't know. It kind of made no sense that we're only getting the second one, not the first one.
It was it's recency, but I don't know. But I feel like that should have came. That it would have been nice to get that. But again, it's coming out there, and this was the one I actually liked the most out of that. I haven't played the Fractured Butthole, but apparently people told me that the last one was a lot better because
it was a lot better.
Yeah, because Obsidian did this one too. So
right. Yep.
But cool. Yeah, I might check that out.
Yeah, but it's good just to get some more third-party support, Ubisoft support in particular. Always good. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I never finished Fractured Butthole. It's another one of those games. I will play more.
Lewis doesn't finish games anymore. He just plays them.
I finished.
Then he's like, you know what? Something new.
But that's the problem when you also get like these long-running games. Like I'm still playing Splatoon 2 like regularly, sort of thing.
That's the problem.
Whereas before, I never had like those sort of games necessarily running alongside. It would always be like these just single, like story experiences, and you just, all right, now something else.
Right? Yeah. No, I get it.
It's cool. But yeah, it's good. It's good jumping around game to game. Just don't leave too many behind.
Yeah, I mean, and plus with this game, it's kind of like a greatest hits bit of the show as well, whether you like it or not. Whatever. I mean, I know some things later seasons have just not been as good in my personal opinion, but it just this Stick of Truth, it really is kind of a culmination of like I said, best bits from the show's past, whatever. If you've been a fan of it, but I played bits and parts of it before, but I'll definitely seek out it again, maybe if I get the time.
Excellent. So our next piece of news is a bit of movie-related news, a bit of Hollywood news.
Hollywood,
as they say. And this is a double whammy, really. I had to digest this one. So the current director for the current Metal Gear movie, Jordan Vogt-Roberts.
Yes, that's his name.
Has during an interview discussed his aspirations, as it were, to make a Metroid movie. And we've got a quote from him, which is, "I have pitched for a Metroid movie. They'll never let me. It's too crazy. It legitimately would be Samus alone. It would be a little bit of her talking to herself. As soon as they introduce other talking characters in those games, to me, it loses everything. You put her alone, and it's almost got more to do with the silence of a movie like Drive. Like the quietness and having it be a real intense mood piece, but mixed with sci-fi."
I think that's a decent pitch. I mean, as far as going over the top type sci-fi, I mean, if you make this kind of a, I mean, I remember back when Prime 1 first released and they got they were trying to kick the tires onto getting a Metroid adaptation, and it got as far as, I believe, John Woo was going to direct it, and I kind of want to go into a universe.
Oh wow!
No, I want to go into that universe and see how that turned out. I
would love to watch a movie. It'd be nonsensical and slow mo, and there'd be dubs in space for some reason.
Dubs in space.
it'd be hilarious to see.
But no, I think he's right on this one. I think the one when people ask like, oh, I will say I am actually slowly but surely getting intrigued by his upcoming adaptation of Metal Gear, which they haven't started shooting, but they said that they finished the script to this. But
I want to add something to the Metal Gear movie. I feel like that's kind of redundant.
As in, you feel like that there's other movies that have done that before, or
I feel like the game series is a long series of movies anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you could do that. I mean, I'm not saying you would go, frame by frame copying everything. I think they would.
You couldn't tell the Metal Gear story in 2 hours. It's just impossible.
I mean, yeah, there is a point where it's Metal Gear Solid 4, which is the interactive movie, if you want to think about it. But
you might be able to do the end sequence in a feature length.
I can tell you this: from beating the last boss in Metal Gear Solid 4, from defeating the last boss to the end scene that's after the credits, is an hour and 30 minutes.
As I said, you could probably do that end scene in feature length.
Our context would make 0 sense, though.
Oh, no, it's okay. I will say this. When people complained about all the endings to Lord of the Rings Return of the King, and then they go to the...
Metal Gear 4's got that beat. That has like 17 endings.
Oh, it's beautiful. I might only personally just really liked how we dragged it out.
But I guess what I'm ending is like I'm actually confident in this guy, Jordan Vogt-Roberts. He did a Kong Skull Island last time, which I actually enjoyed on there. I mean, but it's the whole they're doing the whole monster verse thing with Godzilla, and that's another one I'll deal with later. But for Jordan I enjoyed him. But with Jordan Vogt-Roberts, the more I look at his Twitter feed and how he's very passionate about games. I mean, very passionate about why fans like these things, or hoping to actually kind of break that video game curse. And where I kind of felt like that this guy could definitely, I think he could do this with the right script in hand, or right vision, is he did a short film spot for Destiny 2 last fall, I believe. And after watching that, I was like, you know what? I think he can do this. I think he can. But back on the whole Metroid pitch thing here, and I don't want to talk too much about it just because it's just an idea, but overall, I think that's kind of the right idea to go something if you want to make something that just deals with isolation, loneliness, and just basically being yourself and being this only force to actually, defeat defeat space pirates or whatever enemy you're going to be putting into this. And I think that works well as a nice character study into her when it's just herself.
Right.
I mean, so
here's how you do a Metroid movie. You take the first Alien movie, you stick Ripley in the suit, boom. Done.
Okay. And now that you mention it, there are some similarities between those two, aren't there, Colin?
Yeah, they're obvious. Metroid borrowed so much heavily from Alien, it's insane.
Well, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, yeah, the first Alien owes a lot. I mean, Metroid owes a lot to the first Alien movie. Exactly. I mean, even Ridley is named after the director, for God's sake. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but no, I like the idea what he does. So I think he could probably do something with it.
Yeah, I think I kind of I would have to see it. It's one of those things I would have to see it.
Off the top of your head, okay. who would be your preferred director to make a Metroid movie? I mean, you can have your pick of anybody.
Is John Woo out of the question?
Is what?
Is John Woo out of the question?
He's out of the question, I guess. Yeah, no, and I mean, well, no, I'm saying anybody working today.
Blimey, there's a question. I couldn't tell you. I'm drawing a blank on who I want.
Can I go with the director I've already mentioned on the podcast for this episode? I'm not sure what it would be, but because I've already said I want to see a Tarantino directed Metroid movie.
Oh
man, that'd be the bloodiest, and that'd be one of the. You'd be having lots of really weird angle shots on there, and just, I mean, you'd have great dialogue. But thing is, Metroid's not known for a lot of good dialogue. I can't even envision what it would be. So it's probably not the best choice, but it's what I'm going with.
I'll tell you what, I would love to see a car crash of a movie that's absolutely terrible, makes zero sense. Uwe Boll should make a Metroid movie.
It's probably the most realistic suggestion so far.
Yeah, but trust me, that'd be over my dead body. Because
like a dead body.
No, it just, not only he's a bad director and he directs obvious trash. It's just like, no, you're not laying. I think even Nintendo would not even sign off to a point no, you're not touching this.
No.
My guess, but if I had to pick mine, and this was suggested a few times, I do Alex Garland. He did Ex Machina, recently Annihilation, and he actually wrote the Judge Dredd reboot / reimagining, whatever, from about 5-6 years ago.
Well, the Carl Urban one.
Carl Urban one.
Yeah.
Though,
that was really good. That was really good.
It was a great adaptation of a good comic, but yeah,
it's back to the source material, unlike the Stallone one.
The Stallone one I turn on if it's like, okay, I need a little bit of cheese here.
It's just that he took the helmet off. I was like, oh, come on.
They could do the same for Metroid. It's fine. Let's jump to our last piece of news, because it is, on reflection, it is a bit of a meaty one in itself. And it's entirely stolen from IGN, so full credit goes to them. So they just...
We should give them royalties for this because of the podcast?
No.
Well,
me saying that we stole it from them is credit in itself.
Anytime we steal
material. There we go.
Well, thank you, Colin.
No worries. I can make that the episode title if you want.
Material. From you. So IGN did a feature, and this is coming off the back of a news story we spoke about last week, I believe, where Nintendo said that they were hoping, they had their own aspirations of releasing, 20 to 30 indie games every week.
Too much, yes.
Too much, Colin says. And IGN thought maybe other indie developers may be thinking the same as Colin. And so they reached out to some of them on their thoughts of having all this extra competition, these 20 to 30 games, all plus, coming out in the future. And so we got some quotes from some indie developers on their thoughts of the matter. The first one we got is developer of Mutant Mudds, Jules Watsham, who says, "The market is already saturated, but the number of titles developers choose to release isn't under Nintendo's control."
They do decide what goes on the eShop and what doesn't.
Well, I was saying Mr. Watson may know more about this than me and you. Maybe he's speaking out of turn. Maybe he's incorrect. Maybe he's bang on the money. Maybe this is exactly how it goes.
I kind of doubt that, but...
Oh, true. But I mean, I think he's talking about not the number of developers, but the number of games.
I'm saying...
Maybe it's something more explicit there. Like, there isn't any rules of how many games you, as a developer, are allowed to release if you have been greenlit to release games.
Right.
Which is maybe what he's referring to.
But Nintendo do control the release schedule.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah,
surely they decide, okay, we're going to release this, but yes, congratulations, you made us this game. It's on our service, so we're going to decide when it's released.
Oh, okay. I've had, I wouldn't call them memories as such, maybe dreams of just being able to pick.
They weren't memories; they were dreams.
Yeah, I'd be very careful with my words here, Colin. That you could just pick a date you want, sort of thing, and that's what would happen. Anyway, let's move on to the next. Things may have changed. The CEO of Image and Form, Brian Siriganson, who says that his name is very challenging the same, and it's obviously quite manageable numbers compared to the App Store, Google Play, or Steam. But we always thought those are pretty overcrowded, haven't we? Nintendo has a habit of curating content, which typically means approvals and manual labor on their end. It may not only be too many titles for the eShop, it may also be too much work for Nintendo to realistically cope with.
It's a very fair point.
And finally here we have Yacht Club Games. I don't have a single person in particular to credit this towards, but so Yacht Club Games as
The whole company was like,
entity.
hey, this is what we think.
all together said in unison, well, we'll keep making the best games we can, regardless if there is one game or a million games released today. The Switch is an amazing game machine, and we will continue to support it with our best efforts.
Yeah, the idea of
Said
a
in
whole
unison.
office saying that at the same time is amazing, by the way. Just
Exactly, yeah, it's... And not even
Right.
like having it rehearsed. That's all off the
Now,
spot.
well, I think one thing when it comes to like the suggestion of, well, the way I can just say right now is the fact that like when you have all these Switch games just coming en masse right now, and when I would say this is a bad complaint, whatever, to me is that, yeah, for smaller outlets, whatever, who are covering these games, it can be a bit of a lot right now. You're just like, oh, wow, there's so many games coming out here. But for these, you don't want any of these games to get lost within the type of the eShop, which is one of the reasons why I feel like this thing needs to be designed is like to highlight those games, to push
Yes, it
them up,
does.
to push them up, to make sure they don't get lost and everything like that. That
Right.
really feel to it. Which is like a game, for instance, I'm hopeful it's not getting lost right there, whatever. It's getting quite a bit of press, right, a little bit, but is Bomb Chicken. So that may not be the best example for me right there because I feel like that's getting enough portion on there, but it's one of those I'm like, something you may want to check out.
Yeah, I think it actually is a good example because, like, the names and the quotes we've read out or I've read out are from pretty top tier, I would say, Nindie developers.
They
These
got
are-
a reputation behind them.
There's a good chance you've already heard of,
Right.
which isn't true for most Nindie games.
Mhm.
And so, like, off the top of your head, like, I'm not sure who makes Bomb Chicken, for example. However, I've heard of all these developer names. And so I'm not sure these would be the guys.
That developer would have to be. Sorry if I'm getting that there. I apologize. I didn't do my research on that one.
This is kind of my point, though. Like, it's not on top of your dome. Like, it's not a
Nitro.
name we've been talking about for years.
Yes, it's called Nitro Limited.
Thank you, Harrison.
Mhm.
And like, if this was like a more like wider kind of call out, like for feedback, like from like developers of games we've never talked about, sort of thing. I'm imagining they would have varied, opinions on the matter as well, of having like 20 games launching alongside theirs, which they've been working on for a year or two, compared to how it used to be when there would just be a handful or even less. That would be in discussion of a week together. Anyone get anything else? Other comments on the eShop releases?
It just needs a new design to handle these new releases. Like
Yeah.
I was saying, I kind of feel like new releases banner. It's just going to get like shouted all these games. The games will get lost in the shuffle. So yeah, they need. God, I want them so badly to go back to the Wii U eShop design.
Needs a bit more curation.
Oh,
So
they need
calling
something.
for?
That's what it gets to it. And one little thing I think needs to be done there, and this is kind of annoying, which please be fixed in an easy update, is that have multiple things in your cart, please. Because there's times where I'm like, I don't want this to be separate transactions.
That's true. Yeah, I think the only time you can do that is if you're buying like DLC for a game. I think then you get a little selecty box. But that's
Ooh.
exactly. But like that's not implemented throughout. Like it's like they've got the core of it there. They just need to let you essentially do that. But I guess it's not even a cart system. It's still like, oh, you can just select as many things on the screen and then you can buy it or not.
Right.
But yes, I agree. Like because yeah, especially when there are literally dozens of games coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a high chance you might go, oh, there's a couple of these I want. or even there's 3 of them I would like, especially like the smaller titles. But no, you got to go through that process one by one. You can't just go, yeah, you, and you check out, please. Which I'm not sure that necessarily solves the curation problem, but it kind of solves a nice little bit of quality of life one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine we will see further developments to the eShop to go alongside like these ambitions of these just much more larger amount of releases on the weekly basis. I'm sure there are these internal discussions happening whilst they are also having the same internal discussions of how many games they want to release on a weekly basis.
Right.
Yeah, because I feel this isn't like we've kind of already heard of this discussions of these problems on other platforms and other stores, and the community and kind of the backlash and all the varied other aspects around that. So I would really hope that like Nintendo's not gone on this kind of blindside that it's the market will find a way sort of thing. We'll just list them.
They'll work it out. It's like make it easy for us to work it out. Make it
provide
accessible.
Tools, accessibility tools and other useful tools for all the various different types of people out there who might find it beneficial. Cool. And that's going to cover the news for this episode. But we do have a super topic to go through. If you want to get involved in super topics, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Voice, and you can support us for $1 or more a month. And that is how you can be eligible to give us super topics. And what a super topic is it can be a question or a topic in itself, or just a more elaborate idea for a feature for the show. And it's as simple as that, and it helps support the show. And this week we have a regular super topic contributor. Thank you very much, Daniel Gaskin, who asks, Funky Kong mode. What really difficult game would you have played? Would you play more if there was a Funky Kong mode treatment to make it a little bit easier?
What a question.
It is. So I don't think this explicitly means Funky Kong gets introduced into this game.
No. Funky Kong in Wolfenstein, the new Colossus. Then okay, that now you were thinking. Let's be okay.
That's going to be a very difficult game, but it does have a bunch of different difficulty modes. The interesting thing is it does try and humiliate you if you decrease the difficulty, your profile, which to be fair is just for the difficulty select screen bit. The easiest one, it's got a dummy in its mouth and a baby, a bib and whatever the baby hat things are.
A bonnet.
A bonnet, yeah, baby hat.
Baby hat.
And it just gets, just more masculine and hardcore as you go down the difficulty modes.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, basically. But you said that it's
difficult games that could use Funky Kong mode.
Don't even, nobody say Dark Souls, because I feel like that's just to a point.
No. Dark Souls isn't a hard game. It's just I
feel like that. Can I tell you right now? I really do get annoyed when everybody talks like, "Oh, this is the Dark Souls of blank." I'm like, just stop, please. It's just annoying.
It's the Dark Souls of video games.
This is the dark
Souls of video games.
The Dark Souls of podcast episodes. I don't know.
The hardest podcast episode to get through.
Hey, go on. There's a podcast title.
Let's look at the Dark Souls of podcast. There we go.
I don't think people will click on.
It comes to mind. And it's got something in there to help you out, but I don't feel it's enough. And this is a game which was known as Super Probotector over here, also known as Contra Free in the rest of the world. This is a game I really enjoyed playing co-op with a friend back in the day.
Easy mode for Contra?
Well, there was there's a Konami code.
There's a Konami code, yeah.
So, but that's it. So you have that or not. But it just gives you more lives. It doesn't really make anything easier. And you still get to a fixed failover state when you lose lives and you're back to the beginning of the game. So it's not like a continue system. I feel like, I mean, I never beat that game, even though I had loads of fun playing it. So I think I would have enjoyed an easy mode in there.
I beat it a lot. I mean, beat it only once or twice as a kid. Like once as a kid, later as an adult, and again, I had, help with me. That's it.
I guess what I should add, this is really just coming up with excuses now. I never owned the game, so I'd only ever play it around with friends. So I guess I never really played it single player. So my excuse being I didn't. My time in it was just that, but it is what it is. Probably would have got further with an easier mode.
Maybe I don't know. I feel like games like that are basically games you just learn. You just have to keep playing it over and over again. You gotta learn, and the game gets easier as you adapt to it.
You get better at that nowadays, don't you, Colin?
You do.
Like I don't feel that game would release. Well, what's the equivalent of that today? Like Super Meat Boy or something?
Yeah,
that's a bit of a random because it's not really a shooter, but in terms of difficulties, is there an easy mode in Super Meat Boy?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Any way to? Can you skip levels? Can you do anything?
I've not played it, but I have seen it being played. Not that I'm aware of. I think
that's me. Yeah, I have played it. I'm just trying to think myself. I can't like them. There might be some sort of, and you can earn the skip stuff. I'm not sure though. I think some immediately come to mind. Oh, I know what does need it.
Oh, here we go.
It's just for me. Gunvolt.
You're going through on your Switch.
Well, kind of, but Gunvolt because I've spoken about it on the show. I still never beat the game.
Still haven't.
Well, I've not gone back to it since I last spoke about it, to be honest.
Well,
but I mean, I did go back to it a couple of times. I never beat that boss rush mode level.
Speaking of like those like 2D action platformers, I would say Mega Man, because Mega Man has this weird reverse difficulty system where the first boss you fight is the hardest because you've only got one weapon. But as soon as you beat the first boss, you then can link it up and then you can.
Yeah, and then like it's assuming you figure out like the weaknesses and such, then you're onto a winning track.
Maybe not so much like a character comes in and helps you or whatever. It's more just the game like says you beat this boss, you should now do this level next. So you can kind of get the idea of where you're meant to go. That kind of assist mode would be interesting for Mega Man. Rather than just a trial and error method of I got a water gun, so I assume the fire boss is going to be easier to beat. It turns out no.
But yeah, I guess the other thing is like we don't necessarily have to restrict ourselves just to games being easier for this mode, because like Funky Kong, like he does make the game easier.
Yeah.
But he is also kind of a character in himself. He gives you like the best of everything of that game in terms of feature set, move set. Like you can do basically all the Kong's moves as Funky Kong. So like we can also like use that as part of this question. If it's like if there is a game where you could choose a character which all had their unique ability, if you could actually just be a character which had all of them, which would make things easier by that sense, but without making enemies easier or anything else changing.
It's like it's not like God mode, but it's like playing a Sonic game, but you have to do every level with Supersonic.
Well, I mean it's not that because like there's not quite that comparison, but I was like I'm trying to think of a game like I know of. I can't think of the name of it. Unfortunately, there was originally released on the Wii U a 2D platform where you could like set in a fantasy setting where you could play like as a wizard or like an archer. Trine. Yeah, like if there was a different character which had all those abilities, for example.
I see what you're saying.
Like that would like fundamentally make it easier, but it's also a little bit more interesting as opposed to just easy mode.
So what you're saying is put Funky Kong in Donkey Kong 64.
Ooh, well that would.
Ooh.
That's not actually a bad idea there. That was one of the big problems of that game. You had to keep switching.
Yeah, you can switch your characters. So
if I had to find one, no, I'm trying to think. I thought hard about this one here but if I had to do with anyone, this is. If I'm really being perfectly honest or anything like that, I don't want to say something. Well, okay, a game like Celeste has an assist mode. That's at least helpful for things for people out there when it gets to anything like that. And to me, I have not been able to. I have not been tempted to use it at all because it's just I don't know. I just
gamer.
pro. Well, I don't want to say pro gamer, like the get good group that just annoys me so much. I'm just like whatever. But if this is really one that I kind of wanted to do with, is that I wouldn't really mind it in say like a really really hard shooter, for instance, like a top-down shooter, for instance. Like any of those type of games, I feel like would be very good. Whatever. I mean, like I know the challenge for something like Ikaruga would probably work there, but for anybody who's wanting to get into that. But then again, I know people will probably get into me about like those games are not meant for the casual, like those are meant for the hardest to hardcore. I get that, but there's that. And if I had to do another one though, again, this is I kind of makes me really really wish they would put it into fighting games. For instance, I really feel like there should be an assist mode to actually guide you through, not to beat people or something like that, but to guide you, just like, hey, this is how you can do these combos, do these fighting moves. I mean, I feel like that'd be one little ways to kind of, and then you take the training wheels off and you're like, okay, here you go.
There was a fighting game. It was Street Fighter versus SNK, Match of the Millennium on GameCube. Yeah, you can map the special moves to the C stick. So you don't actually have to do the inputs.
Yeah, you definitely could.
You just tilt the C stick. And to be honest, like Super Street Fighter 4 on 3DS had that, where you can just you can just touch the touchscreen and it will do your like ultimate mega move.
Yeah, or you could set it to moves. And also, actually, what was cool about the 3DS version, you could pull up the move list on the second screen, and I think you could tap the move list to do the move.
And it will do the move in the game, I believe.
Which, as a training mode, is very cool.
Mm-hmm. Do you really feel like, okay, obviously they fixed it. This is my last one. And they fixed this in the Metroid Prime trilogy. Remember how hard some of the portions of Metroid Prime 2 were?
Oh god, the worst.
I feel it. But again, that was actually fixed though in the HD collection, because I think it was the Boost Guardian was what everybody got a really pain with. So I don't know. There's a lot for me to add funky modes to it, but to me it's games that deserve it to basically like that don't scare you away, whatever about that. So that's my ending to it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I think that wraps it pretty well myself. And so if you want to chuck us your own super topic, please do check out patreon.com/Nintendo Voice. And before we end the show, let's do what we usually do at the end of an episode. We'll let you know where you can get hold of us if you so choose, and anything else we've been up to that we'd like you to know about. Harrison, how's the fine folks of the internet get hold of you?
You could. Do you like sending me hate mail or regular mail? You could phasical letters. You could do that. Here's my address. No, I'm not giving my address out. You can reach me at Twitter @Milfeld, and you can send me friend request on my on Switch with my friend code pinned to the top of my profile. And of course, you could read all my stuff and like my review of Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido up on purenintendo.com. And again, I apologize for everybody why it was a month late. It was I got my code during E3, so I was busy basically writing, running around, and then I got home and I had basically a backlog of work and traveling, so I didn't. And that
I think just the fact that the statement that you got your code during E3 is enough.
More than enough.
Yeah.
That's the time.
Yeah, but the last thing I want to say is a recommendation. This is something I got in the mail that was officially Nintendo, and for those who are the video feed can't see this, and that, of course, is the official Nintendo little charging kickstand here, and it is surprisingly small, as everybody sees, and pretty durable. So it only cost me about $15-20, I believe, and I know that seems steep for something like this, but trust me, this is a lot better. This is a lot. You have one of those.
I have a knockoff one of those from a third party. It's not as good, but
it does allow you to charge basically and have it in tabletop mode. So I do recommend getting this. It's through Nintendo's official store, and you can find it through Amazon. It's the and I don't know. The way this thing's built here, I hope in the next Switch revision that kickstand is a little bit durable as much as this, because it feels just so well. Because when I got this, I was like, oh, this is way smaller than I imagined, and I like it, so it works. So yeah,
that's cool.
That's the job. That might have actually sold me one of those. When I read about it, I was like, oh, that could be good. I like they made an official solution for that.
And it
just I think that's what we need.
And and I need to get an extra AC adapter, so I could just get one of these, and I could have it on my Switch on my coffee table, and just Right there.
Beautiful.
There it
All
is.
right. How about you, Colin?
Yes, you can get a hold of me on Twitter at HidingBird. It's how you think it's spelled. My friend code, which is horrendous. In fact, they still do friend codes. My friend code is.
You just hate it. Friend code.
I'm like, can we not just have a standard? Anyway, my friend code is on the Pixel profile as well. Anything to plug? Not particularly.
No, you been streaming?
I have been streaming over on Twitch at
Yeah.
the twitch.tv/thehidingbird. I put the because somebody took my name.
Rude.
Fiends. That's what I call them. Fiends. But yeah, that's me done. That's basically it from me.
All right. Well, for myself, you can find me on Twitter at Luvsion, Leuvsion, a name which I never have to find Volusion for. And that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks once again for watching or listening, however you digest and enjoy. And this has been Nintendo Voice.
See y'all later.
Take care, everyone.